Our next guest is starred in Beverly Hills 90210, The Deal, Legal Queen, Days of Our Lives, Copland, and so much more. And here he is from a secret location in a chair that I think was on loan from Star Trek. Kevin O'Sullivan is in the house. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the Jim Masters Show, my friend. How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm great. I'm great. Thank you, Jim, for having me on. And yes, this chair is borrowed from the Starship Enterprise or a nightclub. I've been banished down in my basement, but luckily by the bar, so we can have some drinks while we talk.
I said, sign me up. Oh my God, that sounds really good. And that's a blue chair. I've been looking at the color. It's like a nice blue chair, right?
Oh, it's super comfortable. I love it. It's like velvet, and I'm very comfortable. I have not been on a show in this chair ever.
JMS exclusive, JMS exclusive. He's debuting the chair for the first time. Not a shabby basement, my friend. Most people have, cobwebs and hammers and, laundry detergent all around. It's a pretty spiffy basement.
Don't let it fool you, because the cat litter box is just about 7 feet away from me. But yes, thank you very much for the compliment.
Great to have you here. Now, what's great about Kevin is he's had experience in Los Angeles and New York. So he's going back and forth between the coasts with his amazing career in television and in film. Born in Los Angeles, raised in Potomac, Maryland, splitting his time between both coasts and enjoying a long and lucrative career in the entertainment industry. First major role was in the TV show Beverly Hills 90210. What a great way to sort of come out of the box, my friend, with such a great series like that, and to have an opportunity to work with Ian Ziering, Jennie Garth, Brian Austin Green, Jason Priestley, and all, sort of really getting your wet feet in an incredible way. Really fantastic. People, of course, know you from Days of Our Lives and Copland and The Deal. This is just a short list. The Legal Queen, and this guy is constantly busy too, and he's working on something special called verticals. It's a way that these productions are being shot now. And a good friend of ours and his, he worked with recently, Robert Palmer Watkins, who you know from General Hospital as Dylan Quartermain, and he had an opportunity to work on some projects there we'll talk about as well. This is fantastic. How did Beverly Hills 90210 come your way, my friend? And when did you first move out to LA, even before that?
Well, I first moved out to LA right when I graduated high school. During high school, I was doing some local theater in Maryland, in Potomac, Maryland, and outside the Washington, D.C. area. But right when I graduated high school, my parents said, "So, like, what are you going to do with your life?" And they knew I was a dreamer and someone who wanted attention and likes to be a class clown. I said, "Well, I'm going to go back out to LA and see what I can do in the industry." And they laughed, and all my friends laughed, but in a supportive way, competitive way. And in Potomac, Maryland, where I grew up, I mean, I was living with the best of the best, like Linda Carter, Darren Star, who was the creator of Beverly Hills 90210, was one of my neighbors. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sylvester Stallone. These were all my neighbors, and I lived in a wealthy area of Potomac, and my parents kept us grounded and humble. We had to get jobs. But once I graduated, I got out to LA, stumbled into a management company who helped me get headshots and got me into a summer course at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, the oldest acting school in the United States. At the time, it was in Pasadena, California, and along with their New York City off school. But I did Pasadena for the summer, loved it. And while we were, working on my craft and trying to figure out, if I can act or not, which I'm still trying to figure out, I got this opportunity to read with the casting director for this new show called Class of Beverly Hills, which was the pilot name for Beverly Hills 90210. Casting director Joanna Ray called me in. I came in, read for her. She took a Polaroid at the end of the audition, which is always a good sign. That's what my manager said to me at the time. About a month later, my manager called me and said, "Hey, Aaron Spelling wants to see you." So I actually went to his house with his partner in the business and read for him there. Oh, and I forgot to say, Luke Perry was in the casting director's office with me, and Luke and I knew each other because I auditioned with him, and we went to network on a screen test for a soap opera called Loving. So he got the part, I didn't, but I knew him, and he was in the room. But anyway, long story short, I got booked on the show, small role, but I'm in the very first few minutes, and I'm lunch boy. And Aaron Spelling said, "You're not going to be like Jason Priestley's character, who I was reading for, but we're going to get your feet wet." And that's exactly what he did. And I'm very grateful because I did 3 days on the show. I did the very first day of production. And then about a month and a half later, they picked me up for 2 night scenes. I'm one of the kids. Lunch Boy is my name. So co-star role. And Jason Priestley on his first day is meeting all the spoiled kids. And then on the 2 days that I worked in nighttime shoots, I'm with Ian Ziering and Brian Austin Green. Ian Ziering is drunk. Brian Austin Green is going to save the day by driving his Corvette. And I've got the keys to the car. Brian Austin Green's a little young man at the time. I don't think he was able to drive the car. And that's where my line of 90210 comes into place. I still get residual checks to this day, believe it or not. We shot that in 1989, and it debuted in 1990 in October. Proud to be on it. All the cast was great. Jason Priestley, Ian Ziering, everyone, Jennie Garth, Shannon Doherty. I was working with the best of the best when we're talking about iconic television stars. And Luke Perry was, I miss him because we actually became friends, and it was a great experience.
Luke gone way too soon,
I know.
right? I can imagine when you heard that news, having met him, known him, and had the opportunity to be involved in that realm with him, it must have hit you hard, hit everybody hard, the shock of it all so young.
Yeah, it was shocking to me, and along with, and again, Shannon as well. Just tragic. You never know when your time is up. So live life to the fullest. Those two lived life to the fullest, indeed, and I can only hope that I follow in their footsteps. But yeah, they're both missed immensely by me.
Absolutely right. And everybody else went on to other things that they've done over the years too. And just to come out of the gate on a series that ran so long, but also still revered and talked about to this day, and a lot of comparisons made too. And that spun off. I believe Melrose Place came after that. I remember on Fox, you had 90210, you had Melrose Place, you had 21 Jump Street. I mean,
Right.
launched the careers, these shows of the time, of a lot of people. And Aaron Spelling of the day was a prolific television producer. I mean, Love Boat and Dynasty and Hotel and Family and all of these incredible shows. What was it like even being in the world, that whole Aaron Spelling television world? I mean, really, he is responsible, like Norman Lear and some
Yeah.
others, for decades of incredible television.
I was in awe. So when I met him personally, it was amazing. But I was in awe because when I was a kid growing up in Potomac, every night I was watching religiously first run Aaron Spelling TV shows, like you mentioned a few of them. Starsky and Hutch was my favorite. Charlie's Angels was great. Hotel, you mentioned. I mean, I think SWAT, he was producer as well, along with Leonard Goldberg. I mean, these were shows that I grew up on and would watch religiously. And then I'm thinking, wow, I'm at Mr. Spelling's house reading for a role on a TV pilot that I could potentially be on, but nah, I won't get it. And he gave me a shot. It's something that I'll never forget, ever. It was something that was just so weird that as a kid, I'm watching his stuff and now I'm potentially going to be in it. And then when I'm on set shooting with a great director and cast and filmmakers, the best of the best, it just blew my mind. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. One of the other shows that he was responsible for, which is a beautiful drama, so beautifully written and referenced. We had one of the stars, Gary Frank, on recently.
Family.
Family with Christy
Mhm.
McNichol and
Yes.
Sada Thompson and James Broadwick. For anybody who doesn't know, James Broadwick, who played Doug Lawrence on Family, is Matthew Broderick's dad. And Meredith Baxter Burney at the time,
Mhm.
and Quinn Cummings, Gary Frank, who was with us recently, another Aaron Spelling, Mike Nichols, and just
Yeah.
an incredible world of so much television, that was created. You then, you went on to the world of soap opera, which is, we've had a number of soap opera stars and daytime drama stars here on our show. And, when you get on a soap opera for any role, no matter how long it is, people know who you are and people follow you, and they have such a wonderful love for these soap operas. You mentioned Loving, which was on ABC. That was another one, and One Life to Live and General Hospital. But Days of Our Lives, which still is on NBC to this day. I remember there was the lineup of Somerset, The Doctors, Days of Our Lives, then Another World, and then Texas, when Iris from Another World got her own show, Beverly McKinsey, and it was Texas for a while. But Days of Our Lives, just to even enter that, the Corday Productions world, what was that like?
So, in addition to Aaron Spelling TV shows, I was a kid was watching Days of Our Lives and General Hospital, and so and I credit 90210 for giving me the opportunity to read throughout the years with the casting director with the last Doris Saba, an interest in me, and I screen tested a number of times for characters, and then finally she found something good for me that the producers and the Cordays liked with me, and so I'm showing up on set at NBC Burbank Studios with a limited run, but it was again blowing my mind, and I'm working with, you know, Deidre Hall and Matthew Ashford and Melissa Reeves and Christy Clark, who played Carrie Brady. And then I'm really was impressed with working with Drake Hogestyn, another great actor who's passed. But all these actors, along with more, were very instrumental in helping me get through my scenes and get through the episodes. Working on a soap opera was very difficult in Days of Our Lives for me. Because it's so much different than working on episodic television. You've got to have the memorization skills have got to be really strong for me. And Mr. Hogestyn Drake saw me in hair and makeup one day on my first day, and he could see that I was nervous. I had like a number of pages to get through, and including a love scene, and he could see I was sweating it out a little bit. So he talked me down and really took the time to talk about just being yourself and just calming down the nerves. And so I'm very appreciative of that. But yeah, great experience.
Did you work with Bill Hayes and Susan Seaforth Hayes and all
Yes.
of them too? And
Oh yeah.
Frances Reed, and who
Mm-hmm.
was Alice, the matriarch of the entire Salem community there.
Big time legends.
These are legends, right? McDonald Carey.
Mhm.
Um, this, to be, like you said, it is very intense to be a part of a daytime drama, a soap opera, because they say that the scripts are thick. They'll shoot sometimes a couple of episodes,
Yep.
at once, and it can be very, very intense.
Mhm.
But everybody says if you can get through that, no matter how long you're on the show, you've learned something about yourself, but you can almost really take on everything else because of the intensity of being on a soap. And if you've been on a soap for many, many years, like we had Chad Durrell on the show recently, who
Mhm.
just left not that long ago, General Hospital, and he had been on it for, it's almost like 15 years.
Wow.
But the time came, where there was his father passed away, and he has a newborn baby, and he wants a new challenge, and so
Yep.
they had to recast the role. and he was with us recently talking about that. And but there's fans who, still would wish that he was on the show. But for him personally, he needed a new challenge, he said. But when you're on a soap opera, boy, you learn a lot, right? It's like you
Yeah.
say, memorization, and just it's intense. It looks easy when people watch it at home. When
Yeah.
somebody drives the car off the cliff, or the secretary slaps the guy because he's cheating on her, or whatever may be happening. But still, it's intense, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally for me. It was intimidating, and it ended still being a great challenge. And it's something that I take to this new medium I'm involved with. But I found that my memorization skills during my time on Days of Our Lives was improving show by show. You're just developing the muscle, or like at least I was developing my muscle, and it was getting better and better every day. Yeah, I mean, I'll say it. I said it before. I'll say it again. In my opinion, my humble opinion, television actors that are working in soap operas and daytime television, and now in this new, medium called vertical miniseries, they are the best of the best. Because you've just you're given material at the last minute that you've got to make real, and you've got to be prepared, and people are relying on you, the cast and the crew and the director and the producers and the creators. There's millions of dollars being at stake, and you don't want to dry up. So it was great experience for me, for sure.
Just to get any exposure even on Days of Our Lives here. So we're talking about Beverly Hills 90210, well-known franchises and TV shows, and Days of Our Lives still on after all. They just celebrated their 60th year on television,
Wow.
which is incredible. 60 years. Being on those shows, did anything transform? Anything change? Did the phone start ringing more? Did people start wanting to work with you, figuring out who you are? Because the exposure extensive being on shows like that, especially Days of Our Lives, because it's got such a huge fan base built in that's there day after day.
Yeah, I think for me, I was very fortunate at the time. 90210 and Days of Our Lives did give me exposure to people. For whatever reason, they enjoyed my appearances, especially on Days, and a lot of people internationally. I got attention from them that carried over to where I'm at right now. So they're giant franchises, both of them, and yeah, there is a fan base that a modest fan base. Let's be real here. There's a modest fan base that I have to this day that goes back to Days of Our Lives and 90210. And both of those shows were very instrumental in giving me the opportunity, while I still was living in Los Angeles, to work in television commercials, both domestically and internationally. I think I counted the commercials that I've done, whether they're national, regional, or international commercials, like in Japan or in other countries. I've done over 127 commercials, which I'm flattered that anyone would hire me for it. But it's all thanks to those two shows, I think.
What are some of the commercials you've done? Do you recall?
Sure. An AT&T national commercial was right after I wrapped Days of Our Lives, and they pay well.
Sure.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
Jack in the Box, that was a regional commercial. I think it played in Arizona and California, and I'm playing the counter kid. When I was young, I was like a counter kid.
Who we had on the show? You'll appreciate this if you did Jack in the Box. He's become a dear friend. He's been on a couple of times over the years.
Yes.
Rodney Allen Rippey.
I knew you were going to say that.
Who was the kid in the original Jack in the Box commercials.
I do respect that. I've never met him, but as a kid, and we would go back to Los Angeles for visits, we'd see Rodney Allen Rippey on television commercials. We didn't have that in Maryland. There's no Jack in the Boxes back.
If you were a kid and you were on commercials back then, you were, the kid in the Oscar Mayer commercials, and the kid with Hey Mikey with the Chex cereal,
with the Life cereal. Yes.
You were just Life, right? You were in the mix. You were definitely in
Mhm.
the mix, which is amazing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and you went on to do so many other incredible things. This is something else you're known for too, Copland. And Copland, people may also recall, in that you worked with other heavy hitters, Peter Berg, as well as Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Harvey Keitel, Sylvester Stallone. You were the head pallbearer in the role in Copland. How did this come about, and what was it like being amongst and working with some of
Yeah.
these other legends in the industry?
So I'm so fortunate to be associated with these TV shows and films that are kind of legacy. So 90210, Days of Our Lives, we talked about that and how huge those two productions are with the actors and just the quality. But then when we're talking about Copland and we're talking about working with, the top of the top film movie stars, what I did on set was I just took it all in. There was nothing I can do at this point in time. I didn't want to shake any boats. I just walked onto set and didn't lock myself into the trailer, which I normally do. I tried to be discreet and just walked onto set and watched these actors as discreetly as I can work if I wasn't in a scene with them. And that was like an acting class in itself. Yeah, these three productions have given me an education in film acting in more ways than one. But watching, Mr. Liotta and Mr. De Niro and Mr. Stallone and Mr. Berg, and I mean, the list goes on and on. I was, again, I say this word a lot while we're talking, but I was in awe. It was just unbelievable.
You know, for people watching who might not realize, or maybe they do if they've been in these positions, sometimes when you are on set with somebody, and say, for example, you really are an admirer, you're a real fan, you really appreciate and respect them, who they are, their personality, their body of work. You're just a fan, an admirer of this person. But now here you are, and that person is standing right there in front of you, and you're on set and you're working with them professionally. There is always that wiggle, that balance of being the fan and the admirer and being the fellow professional on set. I know from years of television and radio and whatnot myself, sometimes I'll be in the presence of somebody that I've always admired, and you want to remain professional, but at the same time, sort of relay to them how much you've admired who they are and what they do, and maybe what they stand for, and the way they carry themselves and their performances. Um, One of those people was Florence Henderson. When I had an
Oh,
opportunity to chat
wow.
with her, it was very hard not to revert back to being 11-year-old Jimmy watching the Brady Bunch when
Yes.
she was right here in my presence, and ended up sitting actually on my lap for this photo shoot. And I'm holding her up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm holding up Carol Brady. All of a sudden, I am 11 years old again, and she was fantastic. She was a hoot. But how have you handled that when there's people you're working with and you're like, uh, but you're also a professional,
Yeah.
and we have to do these things we have to do. Let them know you appreciate them, but no drooling.
Well, I think you explained it pretty well, because it's happened to me so many times in this industry. I think the same way. I think more of being a fan than me being a colleague, and that's just because I have a love. I personally have a love of television and movies, and if I'm working with an actor that I've just have really admired throughout the years and would never have thought that I would be working with them, it's still in my mind. Wow, I'm the fan, and I can't believe that this individual is like 3 feet away from me and I might have some interaction with them. And that's so cool. But then you go back to, I'm here, I'm getting paid, and I need to deliver, and I need to put that fan mindset to the side and just focus on the job at hand. It's a fine balance, Jim. It really is. But how you just said it with Florence Henderson, and I grew up with the Brady Bunch as well. I can imagine how you felt. it's mind boggling that, you're in a situation where you're actually working with them and you're a fan, and it's the greatest feeling for me. It really is.
Absolutely is, right, exactly, and they remember that too, that you
I
appreciated
think
what
so.
they've done, and yes, exactly.
I
You know
acknowledge them. Yeah, I acknowledge my feelings.
Yeah,
Um, you know, Not all the time, especially on Copland set, but on days in 90210. The 90210 actors, they were kind of on what they weren't known at the point in time where I was doing the show.
right, it was
But
all new and fresh and
Yeah, but Shannon and Jason had some work that I was familiar with, and I acknowledged that. On Days of Our Lives, there was a number of actors that I already knew about, and I acknowledged it, and it kind of like puts me at ease.
exactly, it's what it's supposed to do. Puts you at ease, and you just do your thing, and you continue doing it, and, which you've done and have been noted for too, my friend. You had an opportunity to be noted with a Best Supporting Actor award in the 2024 Egyptian American Film Festival in New York City for your portrayal of Officer John Nelson in the American Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Science Oscar-qualified film the Deal. Tell us about that and congratulations on that. I know that's very special and important. The awards, accolades are not why you do what you do, it's the gravy and icing on the cake. But when noted by either peers or the public or both, it is something quite special. And look at all the awards with the deal there and accolades. Tell us about this, getting the award, but also being a part of the deal. And congratulations, fellow
Thank you.
Irishman.
Thank you very much. Yes, fellow Irishman, Jim Masters. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I was fortunate to book a supporting role in the film The Deal, which has received a lot of awards. So I'm very grateful for just being part of the cast. We shot it in Los Angeles, and my role as the officer of the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm chasing after bad guys. So they closed down like 5 or 6 city blocks for us to shoot this scene. And I actually had to take stunt driving classes to make sure that the other actor, who was a supporting character as well, my partner in the scene, was safe, along with the vehicles in front, which were capturing the footage. But yeah, I'm playing the good guy, very Adam 12 like TV show. I'm playing the straight laced officer. And it was a great experience working with this awesome director, McGregory Frederic, and the production crew were top notch along with the cast. But I think it turned out really well, and I was shocked and honored to be awarded by the Egyptian American Film Festival in I think it was in Brooklyn, New York. They had it. And I couldn't believe that I was sitting there thinking, okay, I'm here. I'm just honored to be part of being nominated process. But when they called my name, I actually was I was in shock. I literally physically in shock for about 15 seconds. And trophies upstairs right now. And I'm very proud of that. And I have no idea why I got, awarded it, but very humble.
And the award goes to Kevin O'Sullivan. Yay.
I just was still. Just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It was a feeling that I'll never forget.
It's something quite special, isn't it? It really is something quite special when that happens. And, I think you probably need some applause for that. There you go.
I like that. That sounds just right out of I'd say Leave It to Beaver or something like that. With the
Perfect, right? Perfect.
yeah,
Talking about television and all, right?
yeah. But that film was Oscar qualified. So, and again, just anything that I can attach my name to that aspect, I'm proud of as well.
Exactly right. Now, there's a lot of new things you're working on too. In a second, we'll talk about verticals, but there's Choleric, right?
Mhm.
Tell us about this.
Okay, so Choleric. I played David. This is a film that's still in post production. I think the trailer's dropping and getting released this month. and the film will be released sometime this year. It's going to go into a film festival run, and it's also being considered right now for potential purchase by stakeholders and production houses. So we're excited about that. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen some brief footage, but I haven't seen the film. But I played David, who is a very troubled individual who haunts this young actress who's trying to put her life together. And I revisit her at the worst time in her life. And I just am just a nasty villain character. I can't release too much of what he is, but he's a very disturbed individual. And it's directed by a great director named Sebastian Fabris, who is a specialist in directing and producing horror films. So we're excited about this film, and I'm in the teaser poster I see, so that was good to see. So thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll look for that too. It sounds really riveting, and your lead, which is exciting in this fascinating and disturbing role. And, when you have to take on roles that are deep, that are intense, that might even be dark, maybe it's not comedic, maybe it isn't romantic, it's a next level dramatic role. Where do you go? What do you do? How do you prepare for that? What's your preparation like? And also, how do you then detach from it? How do you allow yourself to get away from it? I know we've had some conversations with fellow talent who have mentioned sometimes they've worked with people where the role was so deep, so dark, so intense that the actor even had trouble detaching and lifting themselves away from it. They really immerse themselves in the lives of this character. For you, when you do take on a role that's really deep in that way, what's your process and how do you work through it?
Yeah, and I may have lost you here, which was like technical difficulties. But what I did for Choleric was I read the script and really worked with the director and his vision, and there was rehearsal and there was stunt rehearsal as well. So working closely with the actress Morgan Warren, developing a chemistry between the two, and really going in depth on what the producers, what the directors wanted from me and the other characters. Building that chemistry with Morgan Warren and the other supporting actors was key. With every nasty character that I've portrayed in television and film, there's always a redeeming quality, I think. And so I try to find that as well, and that brings realism. I go over my lines over and over until it's non-mechanical and it becomes part of me. And then on set, Sebastian Fabris is a collaborative director, so he's talking to us at that moment, just in between takes, and he's giving it last minute notes right in my ear, but not letting anyone else hear about that. And then how I get out of it is meditation. That drive home from set, back to the hotel or back to my house with my family, listening to music, meditation, trying to let go physically and mentally is a tough thing for me to do, but breathing and the meditation is what I do all the time to get rid of the negativity that I brought onto set, or at least I hope I brought onto set and in front of the camera. Those are the things that I try to do.
It's a good way to do it. So you can, like when you go home, you can breathe, you can detach and not necessarily be that character anymore. You leave the character on set, which is essential, right? Exactly. That's why we don't see any holes in the walls there in the basement, because he's not the character.
No, I'm a nice guy in real life, I promise.
He's a nice guy, folks. He's a nice guy. And we do have some cool shots through the years here.
Yeah. That's a film called The Plan, with James Andrew O'Connor. That's a still of him and I. That was directed by Connor Romero, who was in the Connor Romero directed this film. He was a star in a Michael J. Fox TV show I think Michael J. Fox's last TV show. I just don't know the title of it. And Joe Perino, who was in the Sopranos final season, and also in a Robert De Niro film, was the producer of this film. So I was working with some pretty good heavy hitters, and that was me as a corrupt New York Police Department detective, and Andrew O'Connor to the right is about to kill me.
Rough stuff.
Yes.
Well, every once in a while you can have a bad day, right?
Oh no. Yes, that is from the Vertical Bite Me, My Mafia Daddy. It's released now. It is a Vertical miniseries,
formerly known as In Love with My Mom's Boyfriend, right?
Yes, they change these titles at the last minute all the time. This is already released. It's a mobisode, so it's a Vertical, but it's a mobisode. And Robert Palmer Watkins.
Vertical, it is. Like we're saying vertical. I mean, I know the photo is, but explain for people who aren't sure. And you mentioned Robert Palmer Watkins, who was a guest on our show too, and you worked with him on project. It is actually vertical, and that's how these things are being shot. Tell the viewers what that means in case they're not familiar with verticals yet.
Sure, I'll try my best, because I didn't know what a vertical was when I did my first one back in April of 2024 when they came from China to the United States. An assistant director said, "You want to be in a vertical?" And I go, "Sure," but then I said, "What is a vertical?" They're filmed vertically, so the camera is filmed vertically versus horizontally, which is conventional. You can say that they're soap operas on steroids, is what I tried to explain it. They're still very grounded, but you bring in, the actor's job is to bring in a little bit of a touch of melodrama along with the grounded acting. Things can turn violent. Sometimes there's comedy, but mostly they're violent. I play a lot of villains in these things. They're shot vertically, and they're for viewing on one's cell phone or smartphone. You can see them on TikTok and Instagram, but people purchase episodes, which are about 2 to 3 minutes long. And they purchase these episodes, and we get them hooked. I mean, the actors and the filmmakers and the directors and clients of ours, they get the audience hooked. But we shoot these things very quickly. So we usually do about 100, 110 pages of dialogue, and we're shooting 15 to 20 pages a day. That's a general statement, but that's a general rule. Working 12-hour days. My trick is I just try to be as familiar as possible with the dialogue, because things change at the last minute when you hit set. But try to be as familiar as possible with the dialogue, and then just go with it. And they're right now. My understanding is they're the hottest thing in the industry. I'm on my 28th vertical. I've got 3 of them with Drama Box, which is a distribution and production company based out of Glendale, California. I've got 3 in post-production that should drop and get released very soon. But they're not for everybody, but millions of people watch these things, and they're tying me back to my days with Days of Our Lives and 90210 and Copland. They're tying me back to that work, to the work in these verticals now. So I'm tripping over the whole thing. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. And they're really meant, to watch on the phone and Instagram and other types of, the way people are consuming things today as well, right? You talk a lot about television, and I love television as well and all, but there's these additional ways that people are consuming the media now, right? The product.
Absolutely. And it's my people that kind of reach out to me on Instagram and other ways of communicating to me, they're the older crowd. Okay. But I'm working with very pretty young actors and actresses, and these people have millions of fans from these verticals, and millions of people around the world watch them. So if you get into like a little bit of a pattern of booking these things, and to be very clear, I play the lead villain in a lot of them. I could play a major supporting role, and I could play a supporting role. So, I'm not picky about these things. As long as it's a fun character to play, I'm usually in on it, and they pay. But you get the attention of millions of people. And when you look sometimes at how many people have watched these things, when some of the trades come out, millions of people watch these things. It just blows my mind. I guess it's a form of escapism, and I'm proud to be in the industry.
I mentioned working with Robert Palmer Watkins, who people recognize as Dylan Quartermain on General Hospital and a lot of other great productions. And he was with us recently as a guest. Great guy,
Yeah.
and North Carolina guy. And what was it like working with Robert? And pretty intense scenes you've had together, huh?
Yeah, so I worked with him the very first day of production on Bite Me, My Mafia Daddy. So he's a star of it. I'm supporting. He's a star, and he's a bad guy, but he's also the good guy. So he's got the two personalities, and I recognized him. I never met him until I worked with him, and we're shooting at a studio in Brooklyn, and it's down in the basement of the studio, and I'm tied to, I killed his mother, and one of our last scenes is I'm tied to these these steel barriers which he showed, and he's telling me any last words, and I kind of know I'm going to be dead. So I just, kind of acknowledged that I killed his mother, and then he's smoking a cigarette or cigar. I think it was a cigarette. He lights it up and then throws it, in my direction. And his flunky pours gasoline on me, and I burn alive. But we had, it took a while to shoot this, and so I'm stretched out, and I'm not a young guy, and I was feeling some pain. He could tell he's a good guy. He could tell that I was in pain. And so he said to the crew, "Hey, can you get, Kevin an apple box just so he can stand on it and not be so stretched out?" And so he was looking out for me. And that's the kind of class guy that, I want to work for. And I always do. All the actors and actresses are professional.
Exactly right.
And we all look out for each other, but he really looked out, and that shows the quality of a human being that Robert Palmer Watkins is. And just proud to be with him in a scene, a number of scenes. And, we talked about, his General Hospital appearance. We touched base with Days of Our Lives as well. So it was kind of like it was a great experience.
For anybody not sure what the apple box means, it's actually a term that's used in television and film and whatnot. And it's an actual, sometimes a crate or a box, anything that you can stand on. And a lot of times it's used on film sets and in television. So you have two hosts, and one host is a lot shorter than the other host. They'll call it the apple box. There's no apples in it. Nobody gets apples. It's just a box or whatever they can get that people can hop up on, stand. So for camera, you're more uniform than one like this or like this. But in this case, to alleviate some of the stretching and reaching, it's a really smart idea. So that's what the apple box things is. So if you're ever in a studio, folks, or you walk by a film set and you hear, "Get the apple box," you'll know what that means. It's something to stand on, because it does raise height as well. Here's another cool shot.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to remember which one. That's another vertical. That's called The Legal Queen. I can't remember the whole title. It changed again. But I play Uncle
Legal Queen Returns, or there's I know
something like that. Yeah. So I play Uncle David. I actually with my niece, who were both the villains in this vertical series. We actually take hostage a bunch of attorneys, lawyers in this New York office until the good guy comes in and gets us arrested and thrown in jail for the rest of our lives. But that was a fun role to play, and I got to. It was a fake cigar. It wasn't real, but it looked real on camera, and you can tell I'm having a good time with that.
Yeah, having a good time with it. Here's another.
Oh yeah.
Another shot.
Gosh,
right?
You're bringing out all these. I can't remember the titles of. I do remember I was working with Mariah Moss, who's a queen in these verticals, along with Tina Brock, who played my wife, and Hunter Cole, leading man, and there were so many other great actors on that show. Yeah, you're bringing them. I can't remember these shows without having my IMDb page to the left. I'm sorry.
No, that's a good thing. That means busy is busy, right? Busy.
I'm very fortunate right now to be working a lot in this industry,
Yeah.
specifically verticals. I'm actually wrapping my last day on a feature film. We're shooting in Brooklyn on Friday, so this week. So I'm very, very lucky and very fortunate. And there's highs and there's lows, and there's being in, purgatory for me. And I embrace rejection. It happens all the time for me, and I just keep pushing away. It's a way, this industry challenges me to be a tough individual and human being, and to be generous to others. I try just to do the right thing. But yeah, I'm very fortunate.
Where does that come from? Where does that resilience, that stamina, that passion come from within you, working in such a fickle, crazy, unpredictable industry as these industries that we're in are? Where do
Mm-hmm.
you pull from? Is it the love of family,
Mm-hmm.
your environment? What has been instilled in you probably early?
Yeah, it was definitely early. So again, growing up in Potomac, Maryland, big Catholic family. I'm of the oldest of five kids. My parents, we lived a humble life, even though we were surrounded by wealth. You got out there and you hustled and you worked and you helped people out and you opened doors for people and you go to church. And I think that's the grounding. And then just being around good people in my life. And then I have also to thank my wife and my daughter. They're everything to me. And the actors and actresses and the great directors, and then just people in real life, which is very, very important to me. My friends and other family members, they've all given me a foundation to hopefully, I've been someone that's just wants to treat people right and nicely, because life is tough, right? I mean, to me, life is tough, and why make it hard for people when I can just open up a door or help someone out that needs to get something from the grocery store? Just simple stuff. I'm all into that. It makes me feel better. But those are the foundations, I think, Jim.
Those are great foundations. I think we're
Thank you.
kindred spirits in that area, thinking about life in the same way, which is perfect. That's great stuff. Some of the other things too, getting back to the material, upcoming roles in the film Nepotism Baby. That's
Mhm.
another one, and that actually, for folks who didn't know, Tribeca Film Festival 2024 nominee. Also, Lord, Hear Our Prayer and Unveiling Shadow, and those are going to be released 2026 this year,
Yeah,
right?
Unveiling Shadow, directed by Violet June. She's the one that got me into the verticals, because so Violet. So going back to Unveiling Shadow, yes, that the trailer it's dropped, it's released, it's getting a lot of attention, and it's being shopped around as a film that might be purchased for distribution. And a very well-known vertical actress is the star of that film, and I've worked with her both in verticals and in Unveiling Shadow. Her name is Paige Marie Smeltzer, and look her up. She's great in this character of the psychological type of drama. I'm proud to be in that. So Unveiling Shadow, yeah, and then all these other films and things. Yeah, I'm very fortunate and blessed to be part of these productions. And Nepotism Baby, yes, happy to be part of that. It was nominated in the Tribeca Film Festival in a couple of years ago. So that one's gotten me a lot of attention too. I play a fireman.
You do,
Yeah.
huh? What's
Anyway,
that one about? Nepotism Baby, I mean,
oh my gosh.
Nepo Baby. That's the phrase you're hearing now all the time.
Well, yeah, and it's about an actress, who's a young lady whose mother is well-known actress, and she's trying to become famous as well, but she's mentally unstable, and she does all kinds of crazy things to try to become famous, and she runs into me. And check it out. It's a great film. It's a great film.
Look at all of these different things he's been involved in, folks.
Well,
This is literally just the short list. He talked about Bite Me, My Mafia Daddy, and also Grandma Destroyed Her Heir. Top heiress won't be your wife. Kill switch engage.
Oh, the music video. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
right. We're looking at right there in the middle. And there you are, falling for you on the
Oh,
left
I
of the
play a
screen.
very nasty guy in that. Yeah, I'm not a good guy in that. That's for sure.
And grandma destroyed her heir on the
Kind of a
right
good guy on
there.
that. Yeah,
A
kind of a
good
good
guy on
guy.
that one. The top heiress won't be your wife.
Oh, I'm definitely a good guy in that.
There he is right
Yes,
there.
yes,
Yep. And there's Lion's Dawn.
yes. With Molly Anderson and Hunter Cole, and Tina Brock and oh gosh, Connor Tui. I can't remember all the
There's
actors.
so many. And you
Yeah,
mentioned the legal queens come back, and there you were on the right,
that's it. Yeah, Legal
in that
Queens.
right there. And of course, The Plan, crime thriller. That was 2023, another
Yep,
one,
James
huh?
Andrew O'Connor, Joe Perino, Connor Romero. Yeah,
And there he is, folks, on the left bottom of the screen above the word gallery, Beverly Hills 90210, and also Days of Our
there's a
Lives on the
baby.
right there as
Oh my
well.
gosh,
And
I've
look at all
changed.
these cool photos too from over the years and on all the different sets and working with all the different folks, huh? Cool stuff.
Thank
Really
you.
is. Yeah,
Very
it
nice of you.
is part of the legacy, part of the continued legacy of Mr. O'Sullivan here.
Thank you, Mr. Masters.
Cool stuff. It really is. So you're enjoying the ride. You've got a lot of really cool things that are happening, and as I mentioned, right off the top of the set of our starting our show, just kicking things off in the beginning with all of these amazing productions, well known, and Days of Our Lives, 90210, Copland, and the list goes on and on. But doing the verticals now too, which is really exciting. You're loving the ride, huh, Kevin?
I'm like I said, I'm loving it. I'm very, very lucky and fortunate, and just will continue to work hard. Nothing's given to me, so and I'm very grateful for what's happening to me now and in the past. And like I said, I experience ups and downs, and I'm just doing the best we can.
That's exactly right. And if folks want to learn more, you can go to thekevinosullivan.com. The or the. You can say the. If you want to be fancy, you could say the.
And
But
you know
the
what? I
with
only had to put
the with
the.
one E.
I only had to put the because I couldn't do KevinO'Sullivan.com for a
Because
domain.
there's a
Yeah,
right.
so it sounds pretentious, but it is what it is.
Anything else you're excited about that's coming up? And separate from that, I guess this is like a two-part question. Coming up, and also, what are some things you like to do that are away from the industry? Away. Do you like to work out in the yard? Do you like to go cycling, swimming,
Mhm.
hiking, spending time with relatives? What are some of the things that you like to do in addition to things that are coming up that
Sure.
sort of balance all the demands of the industry?
Okay, so let me answer that question specifically and quickly. We live on 2 acres, and I like to cut the lawn with my tractor. So, and we also have 2 horses. My wife is an active rider, and we own 2 horses, so we enjoy the country life. I will also say that I really enjoy spending time with my wife and my daughter. And just shopping and traveling. We just got back from Universal Studios in Orlando and enjoyed the whole the Harry Potter theme stuff. I'm also the biggest pro wrestling fan you'll probably ever meet. I've met Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and have pictures with them. I used to go into the locker rooms. My friend and we used to go and sneak into the locker room at Madison Square Garden and the Capitol Center and in Maryland and all these other things. So I know everything about pro wrestling. I could get a PhD in it. The one thing I'm looking forward to outside of this industry is just spending time with my wife and my daughter and the expanded family, like the in-laws and my sister and my brothers. But I'm also looking forward to our anniversary, which is May 11th. I don't forget that.
Happy anniversary. Right. If you do forget it, just watch back this episode and you'll have said the date here on our show, right?
Welcome.
What was it,
Yes.
the 6th or the 5th? Let me watch the Jim Master show again. As a matter of fact, for all of our viewers, you are a fan of our show. You mentioned you've watched some of the other episodes, and I appreciate that you enjoy what we do here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm actually very thrilled to even be on your show because your guests are guests that I grew up watching TV with, like Max Gale from Barney Miller and Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver and Florence Henderson from the Brady Bunch and Robert Palmer Watkins. I'm not of that caliber, so I'm thrilled and quite flattered to be on your show, Jim.
Pleasure is all ours, my friend, all
Thank you.
ours. Other things coming up, and is there anything looming out there that you still want to tackle? Meaning, do you like comedy? Do you like other thrillers? What are some things that you would like to tackle that maybe you haven't tackled yet?
So I ride motorcycles, and I don't ride right now, but I've a number of years experience. So if I could find a vertical or a film or a TV show that could highlight my biking skills, that's something that I would like to do and capture cinematically. That's on my number one top of the list. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think with the drone cameras
Oh yeah.
capture, yeah, and maybe I'm driving to a secret hideout in my Harley. That would be something cinematically that I'd like to check off my list, Jim.
Were you an Evil Knievel fan
Oh, I used to
when
watch
he
Evil
would do those
Knievel
jumps?
right over what was it, Snake Canyon or whatever it was. Yeah, you used to watch Evil Knievel live do his stunts, and a lot of the times he would not make it, and he would get injured, and everyone was live. You're watching it. Did he just die before my eyes? It was on ABC television all the time, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, you're right. It was on ABC. That's exactly right. And
We're
all
dating ourselves here.
those great announcers, Jim McKay and Chris
Yeah,
Schenkel.
Chris.
Saturdays, the Pro Bowlers tour on Saturdays.
Yes, worldwide
Wide world
wide
of
world of
sports
sport.
with that poor
Jinx.
skier that would come down, the skier that would
Oh,
come down and
da, 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 da. I mean, it's like, yeah, yeah. You would see that for years, and that was always embedded in my
and
brain.
then see if you were a little bit older then instead of a kid, and you were, because I don't think they had kids on this. They had maybe teens and above, people starring in all the TV shows. You could have been on Battle of the Network Stars.
Oh, I love Battle of the Network Stars with Scott Baio and all the yes, and Robert
Heather
Conrad.
Locklear and all of
Exactly.
the,
I
the
used to watch those shows. I think they were like once a year. The Battle of the Network Stars. That was like so cool to me. And again, that kind of like I'm watching this stuff, and then I'm working with some of these people. In fact, I've worked with Scott Baio, and it just blows my mind that you're watching this stuff as a kid, and then a couple of years later, you're in Los Angeles or New York or Vancouver or wherever, and you're working with these people. It's just mind blowing.
you end up working with Chachi
Yeah, yeah, TV
from
commercial, but
Happy
yeah,
Days, right? Yeah. Happy Days, Charles in Charge, Scott Baio, right?
yes, oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. No,
It's cool stuff. It really, really is. Does this, you're talking about like Brooklyn and of course LA and all, does any of this take you out of the country? Are there places you've had to go to for film locations and or I know the world's all upside down right now, but are there places that you would love if they were film locations? Boy, it would be cool to film here kind of thing.
So my competition in the verticals is pretty specific, and so I got very close to on a number of occasions getting booked on a vertical shooting in China. It didn't happen, but yeah, I'd like to go to China where this all started, and work with the best of the best in the vertical industry. In television commercials, I did a number of commercials in Japan years ago when I was younger. Would I like to go overseas, which I see the industry doing more and more, not working as much in Hollywood. I'd like to, get attached to a film production, a major one. I'm dreaming now again, but work overseas in Europe. That would be something that I'd like to do, along with doing a vertical in China or in Turkey. Istanbul, Turkey is another hot spot. I like to do something like that versus doing the normal verticals in New York or Los Angeles. I like to shake it up a little bit.
How about writing, directing, producing? Have you
No.
sort of toyed with those ideas? I'm sure as you're, on set, the talent, you're watching everything that's going on
Mhm.
around you, soaking it all up. Has directing, producing, or even writing, screenplays, what have you, been anything that you've been working on or thinking about branching out into?
Great question. To be very, very honest with you, no. I have zero writing skills. I've tried. I cannot. There's
You
some sort
spelled
of
your name right, and you got the O and the apostrophe. I mean, you got that.
I can do that. But yeah, formulating something pen to paper is very difficult to me. And producing, directing, I'm gonna let the geniuses, the people like you and others do something like that. I'm not smart enough to do that. My role is a performer, hopefully a good performer. But no, I stay in my lane. I'm not one of those actors that wants to be a director or producer. I've seen on verticals great actors come in at the last moment and direct the final scene, and I say to myself, wow, I could never have done something like that.
Mm. Have they tried to get you to sing over the years?
Well, at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts summer course, yes, I had to take singing and dancing, and I can tell you right now, I have zero talent in either one of them. I am
He's
a
a very truthful guy. He tells it like it is. I'm good at
oh, I
this,
don't,
with that, and
yeah,
down with that.
yeah, no, I don't, no false expectations with me. Everyone knows what they're going to get with me on set for sure.
Do you see yourself as a particular character? Like you mentioned villain and things of that nature that they seem to see you as and put you in roles in, but are there others that you would like to test and try?
I, I'd like
Like if
to
a sitcom came
see,
along or something like that, situation
I'd like
comedy or
to see
something?
more. I'd like to see myself in more comedy. I haven't done a lot of comedy. In fact, yeah, I mean, everything I do is very dramatic as
Yeah,
far as booking roles and stuff like that. I'd like to see myself move away from the villain a little bit and
yeah.
move to more of a grounded father figure for an actor or
Mm.
actress. It just hasn't happened. The industry right now does see me as someone, and maybe it's because of the beard. I haven't figured that out, but they see me as someone that's going to be this just a wretched individual. In fact, after I get off your show, I'm doing an audition for one of the worst despicable fathers you could ever imagine for a vertical series, and I may book it, I may not, but that's what the industry sees me as, is just a tremendous villain. So I like to see myself maybe in a comedy playing like that Hugh Beaumont type of character and Leave It to Beaver that you may be familiar with. You know, it's kind of
Mhm.
leading the household and coming up with some good advice for everybody and making life happy and fun.
Father Knows Best, Robert Young,
Yes.
Donna
Yes.
Reed Show, Dick Van
Yes.
Dyke. Dick
Yeah.
Van Dyke, God bless him, right? 100 and
I know. Can
counting?
you believe that?
He's
And
one
it's,
of those guys, just, he's touched so many lives for
yeah.
such a long time, and he's
Mhm.
a song and dance man. He's everything, Dick Van Dyke, huh?
So he's truly blessed,
One of the nicest guys too on the
yeah.
planet.
Oh yeah, nicest guy on the planet, and it's amazing that how healthy he seems at 100 years
Yeah.
old. I mean, it's amazing.
We should all be so lucky, right? And to be blessed with loved ones that care around as well.
I wish everyone good luck in health and vitality for sure. The world's a hard place, so best
Yeah.
of luck to everybody. Just keep going, keep going.
Really cool having you on the Jim Masters Show Celebrity Talk Show series, my friend. Really loved it, and it was a hoot and a holler. And I wish you continued success as well. And I tell all the guests that stop by JMS, we're going to keep the porch light on for you. So the porch light's on. You can come back here and chat with us about new things you're working on. If you just want to say hi, anytime, my friends. Continue to spread the word about our show. we
Yes.
will do the same about you. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you, Kevin.
I did, Jim. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It was a blast, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
The pleasure is all mine. Good luck with that audition, okay, my friend?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll need it.
Going from the nice guy on the Jim Masters show to the
Yes.
despicable father.
Yes,
So,
with lots of slapping.
yeah. So that's why everybody's out of the house right now. They know he has the audition. They've cleared out. They say he's got an audition. He's going to be slapping walls and stuff.
They just roll their eyes. My wife and my daughter roll their eyes sometimes at the stuff I
They're
do.
like, again? Well, you be well. Good luck with that. We'll let you go so you can shift into that role. And congratulations in advance. Keep us posted on it. And come join us again, Kevin, okay? It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you.
All right. You be well. You take care. And thanks for being with us, my friend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Kevin O'Sullivan joining us here on the Jim Masters Show. We wish him a lot of luck. He's going to be doing an audition right now for that crazy character, and hopefully he gets it. I'm sure he will. Hey, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up like. We would love that. Share it on your social media. There's a thumbs up like icon on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Drop a comment below. Do you remember him in some of these great roles on Beverly Hills 90210 and Days of Our Lives and Copland and all these other ones? Amazing, right? And he's got so many. I mean, we were just talking about some of the amazing roles he's had, but he's in all these verticals now too, which is a new way of doing things where it really is vertical. Look for him in Choleric coming out soon. And of course, this one as well. And yeah, that's going to be a cool one too. And he gave us like a little bit of didn't want to say too much, but give us a little bit of a teaser with that. If you enjoy what we're doing here, it's good to have you with us too. We absolutely appreciate, love, and value the viewers watching all around the world. Yeah, that's you. If you enjoy what we're doing on the Jim Masters Show, certainly don't keep it a secret. Go on top of the highest hill in your town and say, I love the Jim Masters Show. It's always an honor to have you here, and coming to you again from New York, the Celebrity Talk Show series we love producing and hosting for you, the Jim Masters Show. Come see us on the next one. Don't go anywhere. Another great episode comes up right now. Till then, as we always say, don't forget to love one another. Don't forget to take care of one another. And don't forget to do the very same for yourself. Jim Masters here. Thanks for being with us. We love having you with us. Be well and cheers.